Here's a little chicken lesson for folks. This is Brownie. Brownie is broody. I want you to look how big and fluffy she is. She's making herself as big as possible. She's quite angry. That's because I have moved the laying boxes up there where she can't get to them. I've taken the eggs out of them today so she can't sit on the eggs. She really wants to turn them into baby chicks, but I'm not in the mood to have baby chicks in 21 days. But look at her. Just look at her. Look how she's fluffed herself up. And if I tried to touch her, she would scream and squawk. Here, let's just give her a little touch. Here, Brownie. Yeah. She'll bite me, peck at me, and she has turned herself as big as everything. That's what broody mamas do. She's kind of meaner than your average broody mama. I think that's her breed. I'm not exactly sure what her breed is. She's a mixture. My silky hens, she's a little bit silky, but not much. You can see, but if you look at her feathers on her feet, see if I can get them. Can you see her feathers? See how she's got feathers on her feet? She's got a teeny little bit of silky, but she didn't get the nice genes. What? Oh my goodness. You are so grumpy. You are so grumpy. Why don't you go out and play with the other hens? What are you saying? I wish I knew. Okay, well, this might be it for the chicken lesson today. I'm so sorry, Brownie. You don't get to be a mama this time around. Okay, I left Brownie up there, and I came back to see these other birds. Now, she finally stopped her mean calling, and then Ruru finally stopped doing it. She even got Henny Penny, who is that bird right there, got Henny Penny to make that scary song. But not too much. And now Henny Penny stopped too. It sounded very much like an alarm call. I think that Brownie was mad at me. I don't know exactly what her deal is. The rest of them are behaving pretty normally. Ruru is a very good rooster. He protects the girls. His greatest desire is to have them all in one spot, and so it frustrates him to no end if he can get half of them into the orchard out here, but half of them stay in there in the pen to eat or lay or mess around or get a drink of water. That drives him crazy. He has to have them all in one spot. So he spends a lot of his time, especially in the morning, running back and forth trying to herd the hens. Maybe he has too many hens. He's got 7 hens to watch out. If he only had 2 or 3, it'd be easier. Well, now they're going to settle down and go. Good morning, YouTube friends. Well, this morning I got up and decided to do some yard work and some plant work. So I'm going to share with you the little dabs of things that I got done this morning because I feel like I'm a little closer to gardening this year. First of all, I took care of basil. So let me show you that. So this is my basil bed again this year, and I put in these little seedlings all along here. There's another row, and there's another row. And they're going to be pretty close together. They're going to get really big. They'll be this tall, 3 feet tall, so they'll be quite large. Let's go down past the thyme. I have lots of cilantro that's now flowering, and we'll go to seed, and then that'll give me coriander. But there's also little bits of new cilantro that's in there. I'll show you some of that. So here's some new cilantro, and there, and there. And then this is some more basil, and then I have some more over there. So I'm going to have a good bit of basil. That's just for us to cook with. Oh, I left a pot in here. Oh, there's another pot. And then I've got tons of beautiful spearmint here. I love to just pick off a leaf of that to freshen my breath when I'm outside. Let me go show you what else I've been doing this morning. Here's a little tray with some plants I'm going to take to the farmer's market next Saturday. There's 6 little basils there, and then these 2 are 2 lemongrass. Now, I had a good bit of lemongrass last year. This, I never did get in the ground. I nearly killed it off. I put it back in my potting shed. It didn't have any water. It was terrible. And then I put them on the front porch, and they overwintered. And lemongrass is just a survivor. So there's going to be a plant swap at the farmer's market on Saturday, sponsored by the Women's Club in Oriental. And I'm just going to take some stuff that I have here and hopefully swap it out for some perennials that will be more useful, because I've got lots of lemongrass. It overwintered this year in my beds, and I have 3 large plants of that. Over here I have some forsythia that I've been keeping in water. I'm hoping it will root. Over here I have some snips of my Lady Banks rose. Now this is very interesting, okay? This is a snip of Lady Banks rose, and so is this. So are these two. These two just had flowers, and they have not rooted. But these two, this one's got a little bit of root. Wow, that's amazing. And this one has a little bit of root as well. See that? The other thing I have stuck in here, now see, this leaf is different. It's long and skinny. This, you see how much that's rooted? This is a little piece of willow. And if you take a little bit of willow and you stick it into a jar of water where you're trying to root something, it will help everything else to root. It's almost like a rooting agent. And so I had some more willow in there. So I pulled it out. Where'd it go? Here it is. Here's the willow. See how its leaf is long and skinny? And it really rooted with those roses. So I'm going to stick it in here with my forsythia. I don't know if any of this is going to root, but I think I've done this before with some forsythia that I cut for a flower arrangement. And I left it in the water for a long time, and it finally rooted. So we'll see if any of those do. All right, I think, did I do anything else outside this morning? I did go to the garden, and I planted my 3 tomato plants, and I discovered some asparagus that was ready, and I discovered 3 strawberries in the strawberry bed. So that was rather exciting. But it is a beautiful day here on our little farm. I realized I had this metal table base. Adam says it's actually the bottom of an aquarium. It's an aquarium stand. And that if we had a really big leaf, it might cover the top. This one just about does. It'd be nice if it were a bit bigger, but this one will do. I'm just starting to ponder what I want in this outdoor eating and cooking space. Today, Adam is making just kind of a trial run rocket stove, a little mini rocket stove. So he can cook on his new wok. But there's a little table arrangement for out here. Hello friends, it's good to see you again. Well, today I'm doing something I've been wanting to do for a while, which is turn my attention to my spinning wheel. I've been missing spinning because, as you know, I've spent a lot of time making skincare products. And I've enjoyed doing that for the last month or so, but I've missed working with yarn. Well, yesterday when I was at the farmer's market, my spinning mentor and good friend, Lynn, stopped by, and she did something she'd been threatening she was going to do. She brought me a whole bag, a brown paper bag full of fleece, and she showed it to me. This is the fleece that's on the top, and it's beautiful. She has washed this, she's cleaned it, and she's carded it. Now, I don't have carders for processing fleece, for pulling it apart and getting the fiber straight, what I have is a hackle. And Adam made this for me, and this is what I use to work, kind of process my fleece. But this particular fleece would not work well on this hackle. It doesn't, it's just the nature of these fibers. They're very, very crinkly, and they're not going to elongate well, although they spin fine. And Lynn also included in the bag 2 samples. She's a wonderful spinner, and she is a wonderful knitter. She loves to spin very fine yarn, and she double plies it, and then she uses it to make socks, and they're beautiful. But this is some of the knitting that she did. Look at that. And it's a beautiful off-white color. She does such tiny little stitches. But this is some of the knitting that she did. This is a longer square. She just did these for fun. And then here's a smaller square. And she included that so that I could see what this fiber can do. Now there is still just, she used, in order to make that, she used the fiber that I just showed you. But there is still a little bit, if you look, there's still a little bit of vegetable matter, as they call it, VM in this. So I'm going to sit here and pick at it just a little bit and get some of these larger pieces. But she did say that as you work your way down in this bag, from the top down to the bottom, the dirtier fleece that hasn't been cleaned is in the bottom. And so if I'm interested in using that, I will. But it'll take me forever just to get through the first half of this bag. But I am going to turn my attention to my spinning wheel. She and I have not had much time together lately, and I've been missing her. So I'll get started on this fleece and see how it goes, and if I can videotape myself while I am spinning this, because I'm used to working, I'm sorry, I'm picking at it as I'm talking to you. I'm used to working with roving that I have pulled off of my hackle through a diz. And if you've never seen this done, I'll share a little link up there to one of my videos where I use this diz to pull it off of the hackle. It's a very calming activity that I love to do, but I won't have roving that's in that long tube. Instead, I'm going to have this fluff to work with as I spin, and that may be a little nerve-wracking. So after I get the hang of it, then I'll bring you in on the action. I am flicking out this fleece a little bit, trying to get the last of the vegetable matter out of it. You can kind of open it up. It reminds me of people who are trying to spread out their bread dough to see if it's like with that window pane look. Anyway, I'm just looking for VM, and the trash can's down there. Although if it goes on the floor, I'll just vacuum it all up. It's just little teeny pieces. It has some bigger pieces. It's, you know, it's a lot of trouble to do it while you're spinning, because sometimes you actually have to stop. So although it's also troublesome to do it now, it's preferable. This is what Lynn calls it. She calls it flicking. I'm assuming this is what she means, is you just kind of have to flick the fleece and drop the VM out of there. I do dread getting to the bottom of that bag, which is where the dirtier fleece is. I'm going to have to actually wash that and make sure that I don't felt it. Well, I haven't been spinning with this for about a minute, and I can already tell you this is going to be wonderful. I am so excited. The fiber is so crinkly. It's so much more crinkly than alpaca that there's like no chance that it's going to pull away from itself and become undone. I can actually yank that and it's not going to do anything. It's great. So it holds together well, but it's not difficult to kind of extract it and pull it out into it. I just really wondered, because it's just in a wad like this, if it would work well. But this is going to be wonderful. I just need to make sure that I don't overspin it, although I will be doing a double ply, so that'll help. But I am very excited about this. So let's keep on going. I do want to make sure I get enough twist in it. I think, if anything, I tend to slow down my treadling when I spin, and then I often now under-twist my yarn. Instead of, when you're a beginner with your nervousness, you tend to over-twist. and you hold on to it for a long time back here, and don't let it go through, and you tend to treadle quickly because you're nervous, and you tend to over twist it. See how crinkly? See how crinkly some of that is? Reminds me of my husband's sideburns. Quite crinkly. And of course, you know me, I have all kinds of yarn that I've plied and finished and put into skeins and still haven't done anything with. Part of my issue is that most hand spun yarn can be pretty itchy, and alpaca's not, but a lot of what I have is sheep's wool. It's pretty soft. I don't think that this that Lynn gave me is itchy. She thought it was too itchy for her, but she has very sensitive skin. But so I'm hesitant to make scarves out of it that people are going to put around their necks, although some people do ask for scarves in winter from natural fibers. They even ask for scarves made out of wool. Yeah, see, there was a big piece of VM there, and as soon as I opened this up and stretched it out, it fell into my lap. Isn't that interesting? So I think it's going to really do well. I don't think I'm spinning mine nearly as thin as Lynn does, because I've seen her double ply. Her double ply looks like it's about the same width as my single, but she is a much better spinner. Oh, I'm so excited. This is going to be, she really, really wanted to give me this bag, and I was hesitant because I thought it sounded like a lot of work. I'm just going to meld those two together, make a little joint. But now that I have it, I understand why she wanted to give it to me. She's trying to get me back into spinning because she knows, I think, that I haven't been spinning like I used to, and which is a shame. I was talking to Lynn and her friend. They were standing at my market table, and I told her that I said, you know, Lynn, I look at my spinning wheel and I miss it. I miss spinning. And then I turned to all the stuff on my table that I sell every week, and I said, but I spend all my time doing this. And I pointed to the soaps and lotions and painting. And her friend said, yes, because you can sell that. And it's true that you can spend hours and hours making beautiful yarn, and nobody's going to buy your yarn. And then you have to decide what you want to knit. So there's a big chunk of in there. Make sure I get that out of there. And get myself a new wad. Oh, this is just a delight. Lynn, if you're watching, I want you to know I am so excited. Wow, it looks great. Yeah, it's just that right color. It's a beautiful creamy off-white. That is just, I'm not even sure where she got this, but man, that is wonderful stuff. And she always has tons of stuff to spin, so I'm not taking anything away from whatever she's working on. She's trying to offload things onto me, which is fine with me. All right, I'm going to keep on spinning a little bit, and y'all go back to what you were doing, and I am going to be a happy girl this afternoon. Yes, I am. Well, it was nice to get some outdoor work done today, but it's warmer now and I'm back inside. I've been doing some spinning, and I feel like it's been a productive day. I'm about to go take a nap, but before I do, I want to share with you what's going to be on, hopefully, my next video, and that's a little bit of weaving. So if I can get myself away from my spinning wheel. What I want to weave are baby blankets because we're expecting, hoping for, anticipating our 4th grandbaby this summer. And we're going to have 2 boys and 2 girls. And so I thought I would make some baby blankets. So I went to Hobby Lobby and bought these 2 yarns. This is the equivalent of Simply Soft. Their brand is Yarn Bee, and this is Soft Secret. So this is Soft Secret Pink. And this is Soft Secret Ombre. Okay, isn't that pretty together? And then a Simply Soft color that I already had was, and it doesn't have a wrapper anymore, but it's this peach. And I thought those 3 together would be really nice in a weave. Okay, so we're going to go for that for the 2 baby girls. And for the boys, I found these 2 colors. This is also Soft Secret. This is Hot Turquoise, and this one is, this is Ombre Sea Breeze. So this one was Ombre Whisper. That was Whisper. Okay, so Ombre is just this variegated. So these 2 look really good together, but I'd love to have a third yarn, a solid. I had another, this is Simply Soft. This is another blue, although I'm just not, see, on the camera, that looks really good. In person, this is very turquoisey, and this is very baby blue. But I really feel like the variegated will pull it together. So, but I have another dark blue. That might actually look better, a nice dark stripe. What I'm thinking of doing is, let me get the girls' yarn, because those 2 will be for John and Isaac. What I'm thinking of doing is, like in the girls' weave, is doing these 2 together in the warp, okay, kind of in stripes, okay, and then using this as the weft, which will mean I can just go all the way through and it'll make it nice and easy. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that. So it'd be really nice in the boys' blanket if I had this contrasted with something not so close to it, but with a really dark blue. I think I've got that over there. We'll go see. Anyway, so that's what's coming up next. And I'm going to try to warp up both boys' blankets on the same warp, and girls too. So I'm going to do a really long warp, and I'm going to weave one and then leave a gap, and then weave the bottom one, and then cut them apart. And we'll see how that goes. I have done that once before when I made 2 purses. And I wanted to get them off of one warp, and it worked fine. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so that's the next project. But first, I'm going to spend a couple of days spinning to my heart's content with this wonderful, wonderful, fluffy as a cloud sheep's wool. I know it's supposed to be scratchy and unpleasant, and people say terrible things about sheep's wool, but I am loving this stuff. So anyway, here's to the sheep. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.